a passionate conservative, and as I've said before, I'm a proud Trump supporter. I was with him early in the 2016 election cycle, and he's governed the nation by the same conservative principles that I hold dear. Like other Republicans, I'm disappointed our candidate didn't win Georgia's electoral votes. Working as an engineer throughout my life, I live by the motto that numbers don't lie. As Secretary of State, I believe that the numbers that we have presented today are correct. The numbers reflect the verdict of the people, not a decision by the Secretary of State's office or of courts or of either campaigns.
So, look, all I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have, because we won the state.
If the president hadn't tweeted and tweeted something that was false, would we have ever heard that call recording?
No, it was a private conversation as far as I was concerned. And he broke privacy when he put out a tweet, but then his tweet was false.
Was there any agreement that this call was not going to be recorded or would be kept confidential?
No, there was no agreement, and we didn't know what the purpose of the call really was. We assumed it was about the November election, and really Wednesday. If President Trump wouldn't have tweeted out anything and would have stayed silent, we would have stayed silent as well. And that would have just been a conversation between him and I, man to man, and that would have been just fine with us. But he's the one that couldn't, had to put it out on Twitter. And so if you're going to put out stuff that we don't believe is true, then we will respond in kind.
Let's run quickly through some of the president's allegations about the election in Georgia. Did 5,000 dead people vote?
No, it's 2.
Were thousands of voters from out of state?
No, we have the totals less than 500. It's less than 300.
Another allegation. Were there 50,000 people who showed up to vote and were told they had already voted?
No. If there would have been, you would have heard about it from someone. You look about how many people showed up that day, that would have been 5% of every voter would be turned away. No, there were no reports of anyone being turned away on Election Day.
What about reports of ballots being shredded or burned?
No, that didn't happen either.
So you're the Republican Secretary of State who donated to the president and also voted to him. Where do you believe the president is getting this information?
Well, I know in one case it has to come from Rudy Giuliani.
Why do you believe that Rudy Giuliani is feeding this information to the president?
You'd have to ask him. But it's been really, I think it's really been destructive to the fabric of our society, because people believe that some of this stuff has actually happened when it has not happened.
And did you okay the release of the phone call? Did you say, okay, let's go ahead and release the audio of the phone call?
The information's out there, and it is what it is.
That's not an answer to my question. Are you going to answer my question? Were you aware of the decision, and were you in favor of the decision to release the phone call, sir?
I think that we had to respond to the president's Twitter, and we responded with the facts that were in the call, and that's how it got out there. So now the world can just see what was in there. They can make up their own decisions, listen to the whole thing, both sides of the aisle, right down the middle, and they can make their own decisions.
All right. So, I mean, that's pretty clear that you were aware that it was going to be released and that you were okay.